Greetings and welcome to Fantastical Science with Miss Jenni. In this series, I transform from librarian to scientist. Today we are learning STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. And today we're on the E for Engineering.
Engineering division ready, as always.
No, not like the engineering on the USS Enterprise, but the engineering you would find in building, like cars, ships, houses. Every year for the summer reading program, we do a different theme, and this year's theme is Imagine Your Story. The focus is mainly on fairy tales, folk tales, fantasy creatures. Now you may be asking, what do folk tales and fairy tales have to do with science? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because there is a classic folk tale that is all about engineering. You know it as The Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. As always, these are experiments you can do at home with items you find around your house. It will involve construction paper, pipe cleaners, Play-Doh, and a fan. Now you can choose to make one, and I'm going to show you how, and make a paper fan, or if Mom and Dad let you, you can use an electrical fan. Now let us tell the story. Mama Pig told her three little pigs, "You are old enough to go out on your own and make your very own houses. Just remember, the big bad wolf is around and he's known to blow houses down, so make sure you engineer those houses well." Well, the first little pig found himself some straw-colored paper, and he knew he was going to make a house. So this is how you make his house, as well as how to make a paper fan. So you're going to take the short end, see how there's a short side and a long side? Short side, straight across, fold it, down. Then flip it and fold, and continue that until you've done the whole piece of paper. And because he wanted to make a structure, he creased 3 of the sides to make it stand up on its own. Now, if you're going to make a paper fan, the only difference you're going to do is you're going to tape one side and make a fan out of it. For the first little pig, he's going to crease, and eventually he uses some scissors to cut himself out a window and a door. And that's the first little pig's house. The second little pig used pipe cleaners. So the way you can do it is you take your pipe cleaner and you're going to bend it into at least half. If you don't want to do it, you can even do 3 times, and slowly but surely wrap them around one another and build a shape like that until you have a house made of sticks, or pipe cleaners, or Chanel sticks, or whatever you want to call it these days. And that's the second pig's house. And third little pig knew that paper and pipe cleaners would never hold up, so he used Play-Doh to make his house. And the way you can do it is, I actually used the Play-Doh container itself, and you can make it nice. I used wax paper because I found that it doesn't make as much of a mess if you put it on wax paper, and then you slowly spread it out, and then you're able to build on your house and make it look like a structure. All right? So, that's the third pig's house. Well, the big bad wolf came along, and he came to the first pig's house, and he knocked on the door. Little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Well, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." So this is where we get to use our fans, because you could use your own wind, but you'll start to pass out if you do it all yourself. So take your fan and blow it down. And the first little pig squealed and ran away to his brother's house. So now there are two little pigs in a house of sticks. And the big bad wolf came along and said, little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins. Well, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. All right, so try it with your paper one. If that one doesn't work, try it with the electrical fan, all right? I'm gonna get my box of pipe cleaners out of the way so we can try and see and experiment. See, this is the great part about science experiments. We first make a hypothesis or a guess about what we think is gonna happen, like will the structures blow over? And then we get to do the fun part, which is test the hypothesis. So we're gonna take our fan. Let's move it so. Will it hold? Will it hold? And the three little pigs scrambled and ran away to their third little pig's house. And he came up to the third little house and said, little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair of a chinny chin chin. Well, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. And he tried blowing, but nothing he did would make that house of bricks and clay, like an adobe house. It wouldn't blow over. He couldn't do it. It was too sound and engineering. But he was a crafty one. Wolves always are. So he tiptoed and click-clacked his way onto the roof, and he started to shimmy himself into the chimney. And the three little pigs were like, oh no, he's coming down the chimney, what shall we do? The third little pig knew. He lit up a fire, and then the fire caught on the wolf's tail as he was coming down. Yow! And he popped out of that chimney and ran away, grumbling to himself, probably wasn't kosher anyway. And the three little pigs lived happily ever after in the third little pig's house because it had good structural engineering.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf, big bad wolf.
So how about you? Did your three houses stand the test of the wind? That's the great part of science. See, if it doesn't work the first time, you can try it again. Because science isn't always about having the answer, it's about finding the answer. Just like, for instance, why when the wolf got into the chimney and his tail hit the fire, how did that propel him out? Now, I'm not gonna have you play with fire because we're in the desert and that's just bad. But I am gonna take you outside and show you a safe but messy experiment with a chemical reaction that's very similar to how fire meets things using Diet Coke and Mentos. So, now we're outside. We're going to use the different parts to represent what we learned in our story today. So for this experiment, the Diet Coke bottle is going to be the chimney, the Diet Coke inside is the fire, and the Mentos is going to be the wolf and the wolf's tail that hits the fire or Diet Coke when it goes in. We'll put a couple in to see what happens when you mix carbonated soda with a Mentos mint. What's happening is it's creating, the carbonation mixes with it and then it starts to explode. Now you can do this, I didn't want to make too much of a mess because you do have to clean up afterwards. But if you do it with a 2-liter bottle and then a whole thing of Mentos, what you'll find is that it'll explode up and out just like the wolf did in our 3 little pigs. You can even experiment with different flavors, different types, and see if that makes a difference, because I found that they have, so you have to see which ones work the best for you, all right? And that is how you make Diet Coke and Mentos explode. I bet you can make an even better one at home. Thank you for joining me once again for Fantastical Science. See, imagine your story, that's why I named the series Fantastical Science. If you go to read20az.org and enter the secret code BUILD, B-U-I-L-D 3, that's the number 3, then you can earn points just for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching E for Engineering today. Next time we're going to look at the A for Art. Science and art? Huh. That doesn't seem like a very logical mixture, does it, Mr. Spock?
Highly illogical.
Well, you'll just have to tune in next time to find out how they work together. Until then, live long and prosper.